Okay, we're going to show you another shape that the half hexie ruler can cut. This time we've taken a 5-inch strip and pressed it in half to 2.5 inches. I've got a whole strip here, and the groove is always going to be on the folded edge. So as I cut, I'm going to get little triangles of waste fabric that I can use in other projects. But again, I'll snap that groove to my fabric and slide it down to the edge that I want to use. And I'll make my 2 cuts. And this time, when I go for my second cut, I won't turn my ruler to the raw edge side. I'll keep it on that folded edge, slide it down to the very edge, and I'll get these 2 little triangles here as waste that I can use to piece together something cute. I've been saving all of mine. But when I take this half hexagon here, when I press it open, I've got a whole hexagon I can use in any project I'm using. Or if I take my finished edge and bring one corner down to one of my unfinished edge corners and press that at my machine, I've got almost a prairie point. We're calling them hexie points, where I've got 2 finished edges and 2 raw edges, and I can use that to build lots of different things. Okay, so I have pressed a bunch of hexie points from different fabrics, and this is again just my folded edge here that I've pressed down to 2 folded edges and 2 raw edges. I'm going to show you how these work. So what we're going to do, just to add a little security to our pattern here, is we're going to glue down with a water-soluble glue stick a little scrap of fabric. This was left over from when I made my hexie points. I'm just going to glue that down in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then when I'm using my hexie points, I always want the raw edge facing out of my pattern and the finished edge facing in. On my back of my hexie point, I always want to have the folded side up, so the flat edge is my back. On the folded edge of the back, I put just a little bit of glue, and then I want to sit, this bottom corner is going to rest in the corner on my layer 1, or in the angle there. And then I'm going to put my finished point in the middle, kind of lining it up with these 2 edges here. My first one's kind of the hardest to place, and then after that, everything else just kind of nestles and follows the rest of the pattern. So again, a little glue on the back here, and I'll take this corner, sit it right in the middle here. My first layer is just going to have 3 of these hexie points nestled together, and then when I start going to my second layer, they will overlap. So this third one, I'm just going to make sure those points all meet up nice and snug. When I go to my second layer, I'll go back to that layer 2 ring and do the same thing where I lay my unfinished point in this corner. And this time I'm going to line this folded edge point up with the line in front of it. I'm not worried about my edges here so much because this is on bias and it gets warped, so it might be a little bit wonky. But this time I'm going to go in every single corner and I'll lay 6 points down, and I'll keep going in a spiral all the way around. So again, that unfinished point down into the bottom angle, and then I'll line this point up in front of it. A little bit of glue. And as I go around and lay these down, I've got this little diamond that kind of emerges through from the bottom layer. As I go around, every time I lay another point down, another one of those diamonds will emerge, and pretty soon they're going to make up the bottom star of my morning star here. Okay, when I get to my last one, I want to take it. This one is completely on top of the other 2, and this one's completely on bottom of these 2. So I'll just tuck this one underneath. I've got a Star of David showing through here, or a morning star. And I'll go back to my layer 3 with my next layer of fabric and do the exact same thing. Okay, and there I have my morning star put together and ready to be sewn.